What is up, my friends? Kyle Smith, Arizona drummer here, and I am so stoked for today's video, you guys, because we are about to buy another drum set. Now, I know what you're thinking, Kyle, didn't you just unbox the Gretsch USA custom kit? Yes, and check it out, it's all right here in its beautiful glory. I mean, look at this beautiful drum set in Cadillac green with that beautiful mug on it. Yes, and then you have the USA custom chrome over brass back there. Woo! Don't you worry. That kit is going nowhere, and I mean that literally. So when I go out and do session work or I go out and play live, I don't want to take this kit out. It's a used kit and I love it. It is the dream kit. It is like the best kit I've ever had in my entire life. So I want to protect it. I want to keep it here in the studio as long as I can and have it for studio use only. So for the YouTube videos, for all the content we do here, the session work I do here in the house, any work I do outside of the house, so like live gigs, session work, things like that, I want to have another Gretsch kit. Yes, another Gretsch kit, because you guys, I am all in on Gretsch drums. I love the way they sound, I love the way they feel, and I feel right at home playing these drums. But we found an awesome deal on a set of Gretsch drums. So we are gonna go and pick those drums up. They are a set of Gretsch Renown drums. They're used, but again, they're still in great condition, and we're gonna get them for a very good price. We have a couple of different events this month that we can use them for. One, we're gonna go do some session work. That's right, guys, we're going back into the studio. Now, I can't tell you who I'm doing the session work with, but we are gonna jump into the studio and do some recording with these drums. We are also going to take these drums live and play at the Wild West Music Fest with Jane in the Jungle supporting Alien Ant Farm. I'm gonna bring you along on the whole journey. We're gonna do a vlog. I'm gonna take you to go get the drums. We're gonna bring them home, get them tuned up, cleaned up, ready to go into the studio, go play live, and it's gonna be an awesome vlog that's gonna span the whole month of March. So my friends, come along with me on this journey while we go get our new Gretsch drum set. Let's go! What's up, guys? So we are on our way home. I just picked up the used Gretsch Renown kit. You can see, I think it's all back there right now. Probably shouldn't be doing that and driving. If my wife is watching this, I'm sorry. But it's a 10, 12, 16, 22, all maple shells. But this thing is very used, it's very dirty. It's in immaculate condition. There's no cracks or scratches or anything like that. It's just dirty, it's been used a lot. We got this kit for $650. It is normally about $1,900 right now to get this kit brand new. I just used one of these bass drum O hole cutters to cut a 6-inch hole in the kick. I like to have a porthole in the kick, and then I cleaned off the drum head because you can see some residue on there still, so I'll give it another pass. But the guy who had this before me clearly just kind of let it sit in dust, so I'm trying to get it all cleaned off. And now what I'm doing is just going in, there's the silver sealer in the Gretsch Renown, and I'm just making sure all the lugs are tight. As you can see, these are a little loose, so I'm just going through, making sure we're tight. And then also, you can see this bass drum spur is as tight as this goes, but it's because the screw behind here is loose, so we're gonna take that off. But for now, I'm just going around making sure all the lugs are tight, and then we will fix that, and then we will put the resonant head back on. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I got all the lugs screwed, tightened, I got this fixed. What it was this washer on the outside was missing, so I got that fixed. It's on there now. But I did go ahead and decide to take off all these claws because you can see they're pretty dirty. So I'm just going to use some of this stuff. It's granite and stone cleaner, but it works really well. I may also use some Windex or aluminum foil on this just to clean these up. I'm also going to clean up the shell. It's not too bad, but there is some stains and stuff on it. Some dust primarily, and we're going to get that shell cleaned up. Alright, we did the first pass on the drums. Now they're starting to look brand new again. I've also started to clean off these claws and the tension rods. So now we're reassembling the resonant side, but yeah, looking much better. All right guys, so I skipped a couple of steps, but I did go through and clean these up. And I cleaned every single lug, the shells, all of the rims. I tightened all the screws, everything inside and outside of the drums. And now they're looking really clean. I also have a pillow in the bass drum, and I put Evans UV2s on the batter heads, and I put Genera resonance on the bottom. I also have this DW tom mount that we're gonna use to mount this tom. And then over here, just to showcase, we've got an EMAD 2 on the kick. And we're gonna get hardware open and stuff like that in just a second, which, speaking of, my good friend Joe Hofer, who you should see right here on the screen, sent us some awesome hardware. Now, I did pay for this hardware, but he hooked it up and got it to me at a good price and with quick shipping, so we can have hardware for this new kit. All right, guys, so now I switched to the nice camera, good microphone. You should be able to hear me a lot better. The iPhone's just convenient, but let's go ahead and get into this box and we'll check out what hardware we got from DW. Let's go ahead and get in this box, but wait. In order to get into the box, we need some help. From Teleknife! Okay, let's see what we got in the box. Here we go. So inside, we got a couple of goodies in here. So first things first, we've got a DW 5300 snare stand right here. This is going to be the snare stand that we're using for all of our live gigging, studio work, things like that. And I'm really stoked to get this out of the box and give it a shot. And everybody wondering, Kyle, why did you go with 5000 series instead of 9000 series? Well, the 5000, in my opinion, is just as good as the 9000 series, but this is a little less bulky, it doesn't weigh as much as the 9000 series, but still has all of the awesome features, like in this case, the offset removable basket. It's got memory locks. It's got all kinds of really great stuff on there. So we'll get into this in just a second. But then inside the box, we got 3 of the 5700 5000 series boom straight cymbal stand here. Here we go. So we have 3 of the 5700 straight boom stands, which again, same thing. They're a little bit cheaper. They're also a little bit lighter than the 9000 series. And again, they're just as good. So I'm really excited to get into these. And then of course the 5300 snare stand. So let's get into these and I'll show you a little bit of what the actual hardware looks like. Let's get into it. All right, so here is the first stand here. And what you can see is this is the base. So this is where you obviously extend the legs. We'll get that open, boom. Tighten down here. Very nice. Boom. And then it comes with 2 other pieces here. So one of the things I love about DW hardware is like all of their memory locks, you can see that right there, like fit perfectly into place. In fact, watch how this slides in right here. It just bang, and now it's locked. It's like that simple. And then the same thing with the actual boom assembly. There's another memory lock mechanism like that. So again, we're not gonna get it fully set up right now, but it's gonna slide right in. And look at that, it locks right in place. A lot of people are kind of iffy on these gear tilters. I like them because they just give you like ultimate flexibility. But we're just gonna keep that up right now. And then they also have these kind of like locking felt pieces, which I really like as well. So you can kind of, there's a drum key right here. Once you get it where you like it, you just tighten that down with the drum key. And then you're off to the races when you have your cymbal on there. Here's our boom arm right here. And we put it in place and tighten that down. And then this obviously allows us to get our angle where we want it. Hit that, put that in place. There we go. And then we just take our tilter, shablow, and there is a memory lock here as well, which we can again put in place once we have it where we want it. So really, really great ingenuity. I love these stands and I'm excited to have them on the kit. All right, so let me show you the 2 pieces that come included with this DW stand. So first you have the base. Of course, we just kind of, again, get this where we need it with our feet. This also has that cool memory lock system, but this also has that basket that you can put on the end here, and then you can actually adjust where it sits. Let me show you what that looks like. So first, here's the basket. We open this up, and it's got this really nice, I don't know if you can see that, but this really nice knob here. There's that opening right there that we can use. Yep, so let me lock that guy in place. And you can see it tilt actually, but we want it straight. I'm gonna get that tightened back on. And one of the things you can see right off the bat, we're at kind of a weird angle here, but this basket can move. So there's a couple different screws. This one right here will dictate the angle that it's at. So if I were to loosen that, you can actually see totally independent. Now, this guy over here, this other one, actually allows you to move the basket however you want this way. So really, really cool. We'll get that dialed in once it's time, but a lot of flexibility, especially if you want your basket closer to you, but the feet a little bit further away. A lot of really awesome functionality with this snare stand. Once again, you guys, I can't tell you who I'm recording for today, but we got the drums in the back. Looks like a mess. I usually would use my hardware case, but it just didn't make sense for this one because it's so close. I'm not bringing a ton of hardware. Snare drum, rack tom, bunch of sticks, pedals, water. Let's head off and do some session recording. So I'm getting packed up and getting ready for the show right now, and although I typically don't recommend taking a drum rack if you don't need one, for this show it just makes a lot of sense. We're playing at a large festival and changeover has to be really, really quick. So this allows me to get 2 crashes, the ride, the China, as well as Pearl makes these, I think they're called MH830s. I'll put them in the description. But they're actually like cymbal boom stands for microphones. So we're gonna use these for the overheads. I've got these guys right here. These are the D-Vice clips by Audix. They are on kind of a, you can kind of see that. They're on like a spring here, and they just clip right onto the rim of the drum. And then again, you can use this kind of gooseneck here to get the microphone however you need it placed. So we're gonna have this, because I am miking my own kit for this show, luckily, so I'm pretty excited about that. My hair looks crazy, but that's okay. I'm gonna show you how I do that, and then also we're gonna bring our wristbands because it's gonna be hot and sweaty. So these are a nice little trick that you can use to kind of get the sweat off as you're playing. And then just in case, I'm gonna bring my kick block, just in case. I don't know what kind of surface we're gonna be playing on, so it's always nice to have one just in case. Again, redundancies are important, just in case you need it. So for the toms, I'm gonna be using my Audix D2s for both the rack tom and the floor tom. These are gonna work perfect for the live. In the studio, I'd put a D4 on the floor tom, but these will be fine live. And then I have an i5 I'm gonna put on the snare. This one has definitely seen better days, but I have my fancier studio one, again, in the studio, but this one's gonna work just fine live. I actually used this for my voice today for behind the kit. So this thing works just fine, and we're gonna use this, of course, on the snare drum. And I've got another one of these MH830s. This one's chrome. But again, these just slide right on. Right now there's an adapter on there, so I gotta take that off. But these just slide right on, and then I'll be able to mount this to the rack, so that way it's perfectly positioned for the snare drum. So pretty stoked on that. We're gonna get that set up here in just a second. But these are really, really cool. All right guys, so to get these mic stands mounted, we're actually gonna be using these guys. So they mount right to the leg of the rack, and then you can mount anything that you need there, cymbal stand, in this case, boom stand. And we're gonna use this because it gives you multiple angles, both up and down and kind of forward and backward. And of course, left and right. So we're gonna use these for all 3 microphones. So really quick, just to show you guys, I'm gonna be using my Audix F9s for overheads for this. Again, in the studio, I use ADX51s, but for what we're doing, this is gonna be just fine. All right guys, so as you can see, I've got this kind of more set up now. We've got a China coming off here. This is gonna be our main crash, our aux crash, and our ride. I'll fine tune this once we get it up on the stage. And then we have our tom over here. Kick, of course, sliding right in here. And then the snare over here. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna use these guys, and again, like I said, they go right on the leg. And I wanna get one overhead kind of over these 3 cymbals here. So there's a couple different ways we can do that. Probably gonna put this guy right here. So it's kind of out here, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So I just tighten that up. So I also like to make sure, that I use memory locks. So these memory locks come with just about everything you buy on the Icon rack, and you can literally just open it up like that. And I'm just gonna put it right underneath, and then we'll tighten that guy in place. And I just do that just to make sure I don't miss anything as I'm getting set up on the stage. So you should be seeing that now. So we've got this mounted, we've got our memory lock in place right there. Let me move you over just a little bit. So right here what we have, and this is kind of what I'm thinking makes the most sense, but we have it kind of at this angle. I'll probably turn it a little bit so it's a little more directional, and we can always bring it closer to or higher. So I'm kind of thinking is maybe we go a little higher, And then we'll tighten that guy. And then we can always adjust this too. We can always bring this closer. But check this out. So now when we play live, we'll have an overhead mic placed right here. So now you can see we have this overhead mic pointing directionally right here at this crash, this China, and the ride symbol. And now we're pretty much set in motion. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So you can actually see the one on the left side drummer side, is actually still a little too high. So we're gonna adjust it just to kind of get it close. And the way I'm doing that is I'm just looking head on, and I can see that it's a little too high still. So we're just gonna drop it. And that's why we have the memory lock, because then we can just slide that in place. And now we are pretty much spot on. And you want to be as close to possible, because otherwise these guys are going to pick up the snare drum on different channels, and you're going to have some phasing going on where you may hear a delay in the drums. So you want to make sure that they are as even as possible. In fact, even at the right angles and things like that. So once we get kind of on the stage, we'll fine tune everything. But now we've got our overheads in place for the most part, right? So you can kind of see where we're going with this, where we put them in place. We'll fine tune it, like I said, but we put it in place, and we can kind of pull this back. Oops, wrong one. I mean, we might as well leave it. So we can kind of boom, and we know that it's got to be something like that. And we may need to adjust again once we get it up on the stage, but now we've got a mic stand for the snare drum, as you can see. So it's, oh, I have it loose right now, but we can make sure that this is lined up. In fact, we can even drop this. You know, if this is too high, we can adjust however we need to adjust. So now we've got our mic stand in place. All right, so you guys may be wondering, well, Kyle, what are you gonna be using for the kick drum? Because this takes care of the snare, the cymbals, and the toms, but what are you gonna be using for the kick drum? Well, our friends at Audix sent us a brand new mic for this show. And I wanna show you what it is. Oh yeah, dude. So we got the brand new Audix D6X. So I have been using D6s for gosh, as long as I can remember, pretty much since I started the channel. But the D6X, what's so cool about this is on the stem, there is actually a switch there where you can choose what type of frequency you want to send through to your front of house, to your recording interface, whatever the case is. And inside the box, we have a couple of things here. So all the Audix microphones come in these really nice pouches. And then inside the box, we also have a mount. We are going to be mounting this with Kelly's shoe. And of course, last but not least, Audix. Hearing is believing. That is going on the laptop. So anyways, guys, thank you so much to Chris, my friends over at Audix, for getting this out, not only for the show, but getting out so quickly. Audix is the best. Not only do they make the best microphones in the business, but I reached out to my friend Chris, said, hey, they're letting me mic up my own kit. I want to use all of my own Audix mics for this, but I need another kick drum mic. And within a day and a half, it was here in the house. So again, big thank you to Chris. Oh, you know what? I didn't show you the microphone. Let me show you that really quick. Oh yeah, dude, check this out. Look at that. D6X. I love that it has this like X on there, if you can see that. And then right here is that switch. So you can go all the way down, which is the D6, kind of your normal D6 sound, like really super punchy, kind of sound we all know and love. You can go up to get kind of a softer, more mellowy sound, a little bit more low end, not as much attack. And then you can go right in the middle if you want something a little more balanced. What's cool about this is, without having to switch kick drum mics, you can get 3 different sounds right within the same microphone. So this is really awesome. It's gonna come in super handy for the show tomorrow, and I'm really, really stoked on this. Not just to have this for the show, but even for the studio moving forward. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get the drums out here. I'm gonna install the Kelly shoe, and then the next clip that you see, we're gonna be packing up the drums, getting everything in the car, and heading out to the show. So with that being said, my friends, I will see all of you in the next clip. All right, guys, sorry for the shakiness, but we are getting the car loaded up. And just a big shout out to my case company, Humes & Berg, keeping my drums safe and looking good while doing it. Thank you, Mike. What is up, guys? We are all packed up and ready to go. Got like my backpack with my clothes and cables and deodorant. all the drums, and then the rack is actually mounted in the back of the truck. I'll show you once we get there. I can't look at the camera because I gotta look at the road, but we are on our way to the festival grounds. I'm just stopping to grab a quick protein shake, and then I'll be unloading. All right, guys, so here we are. We're here in Maricopa. They got the ride set up. That's right. We got a slide over there. Sorry, it's a little shaky. I'm walking on grass. Yeah, then we got the grounds. All the food trucks and stuff are over there. And then here's the stage. Nice, good sized stage there. Playing. That's pretty cool. And we are playing with Alien Ant Farm, of course. Which they're setting up his DW kit and they're getting ready to sound check right now. But yeah, pretty cool. I'll take some more videos once we're up on the stage. But here's like the front of house over here. Hilarious. And they're just running cables down right now, make sure that front of house is ready. But yeah, nice size stage. Looks good. Check out Alien Ant Farm drummer's drum set. He's using Zildjian cymbals, all Audix mics, just like me. DW hardware. It's got an LP timbali, cool edge snare from DW. This really cool like pink purple finish. Really sick. And then of course my beautiful rig. Oh my gosh, you guys, that show was so much fun. It was incredible. Everything sounded amazing. We played for an hour-long set. The crowd was incredible. The environment was incredible. The festival was awesome. And just a big thank you to my friends in Jane in the Jungle, as well as their new band, Blossom, for hiring me on and bringing me to be part of this awesome event. I love these guys. They're so talented. They are professionals, and they're just good people. So again, Brian, Jordan, Randy, thank you so much. I will play with you whenever you need me, so please feel free to call me whenever you need me. Now, this video has been going on for over 30 minutes already, so I will cut this short, but what I will say is make sure to become a Patreon member. In fact, whether you're a snare drum level member or a drum set level member, I will have the entire unedited show, 1 hour long set on Patreon for you to view today when this video goes live. So make sure to become a Patreon member. You can go check out that whole set right now. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel, make sure to pick up some merch, whether it's hats, shirts, hoodies, shorts, stickers, all that good stuff. I release new artwork all the time, and we've got all kinds of new and high quality products right there at the link below, and all those proceeds again come right back to the channel so I can keep creating awesome content like this for each and every one of you. But like I said, I'll keep this short, so please just make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I will see all of you in the next one.